Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to you all, of course. Welcome to a new show of the Daily Mind podcast. We're rolling out the shows, rolling out the hits. This season is like full steam ahead, man. It's been a busy week for the show. Out of 7 days, 5 episodes, 2 days of break. It's a lot, though. But hey, it's one of the things that keep me going for the day. And, on days I have a show, it's one of those things that I wake up in the morning and look forward to for sure. Despite how bad the day may be, the one thing I look forward to is doing the show and, of course, coming home and, my wife annoying the hell out of me, but that's all part of the package anyway. What's going on, everybody? It's Friday. We're already done with the second week of December. We are done, man. It's going by fast. And today is an actual holiday. A lot of you may not know, unless you're Mexican, version of Guadalupe Day. I have never heard of this holiday, but that is what is on my Golden Girls calendar to my top right up there. All right. And then, of course, on Sunday, for my Jewish folk, Hanukkah begins at sundown. And then it's like presents for the whole week. That's crazy work. But shout out to the Jewish audience, man. I don't even know if you guys actually listen to this shit, but if you do, shalom to you for sure. All right, but anyway, it's Friday night over here, and for a lot of you right now, like 95% of my audience, you guys it's Friday morning where you are, so you guys are just waking up, getting, taking kids to school, going to work yourself, or if you're a bum and you don't work, hey, that's okay. As long as you woke up this morning and may have something to look forward to, right? Like making it through the day. Either way, however you spend your Friday, do it well and don't get in trouble. That's all I can tell you. But other than that, welcome to the show, folks. All right. My week has been mentally exhausting. I don't know. I felt like I wasn't up, like my energy wasn't there. Now, you may not be able to tell on the show because I have to build up for the show. You know what I mean? But when that on air sign goes off and I got to wake up the next morning and go through the day, it's a lot. Now, at work-wise, the workload wasn't bad at all. It was super chill week. But, during this time of the year, you think about a lot of things. It's just my wife and I out here, so we can't like really just go hop, skip, and a jump to our family. We're pretty much all we got here. So, and that's better than where I was 2 years ago on my deployment, where it was just me among my peers. It was a very depressing time, but at least I have some sort of family here, so that's always a good thing, right? And just make the best of it. Tomorrow we're gonna have pancakes with Santa. Yeah, that's right. They have an event out here because my wife loves taking pictures with Santa, and of course she pulls me in there and I take pictures with Santa too. But you can have pancakes with Santa. I think that's pretty dope, especially if you got kids out here. Take the kids to go see Santa, right? Let them enjoy their imagination. People are like, oh, well, don't tell your kids that Santa is not real. That's the first lie I think you'll ever tell your kid is that there's a Santa Claus. Let them have an imagination, all right? Either they're going to hate you for lying or they're just going to grow out of Santa and never think whether or not it was true or not. They just got older, right? It's always the first major lie we tell our kids, depending on your religion, whatever, that there's a Santa Claus, that Santa is real, the Tooth Fairy is real, the Easter Bunny is real. Santa is real figuratively, but Santa is not real. I have not seen a fat white man on a fucking sleigh with a reindeer whose nose is so bright. I've never seen that. All right, but for your kids, let them enjoy that, man. I think there's nothing more heartbreaking than telling your kid that there is no Santa. All right, and somebody's probably listening to me through these walls, like, shut the fuck up. Somewhere in the apartment, in this complex, somebody is hearing me say this shit and about to tear my ass up for saying that really, really loud. Anyway, let your kid have an imagination, all right? But yeah, tomorrow we're going to have pancakes with Santa. That should be fun. I don't have any major plans this weekend, all right? Most of Korea is going to snow, but unfortunately where I'm at is no snow. It's not common for it to snow where I'm at. You got to be like different places up north or whatever. I don't know. But other than that, we're starting off the weekend and we're starting it off with the Roundtable, one of my favorite segments of the show. Damn near every Friday we have a Roundtable. It's mandatory. We got to have a Roundtable, right? It's just what it is. Basically, it's an open mic, open freestyle Friday type show. Now, normally throughout the week, if you're new to this podcast, normally through the week we do topics. We have set topics. Like last night we talked about bad sex and what constitutes as bad sex, which might have almost gotten us canceled last night because we actually did get a violation. I will say the show is very explicit. You can catch it on Spotify and other platforms where you listen to podcasts. I had my co-host on there and one of my oldest friends. My co-host Drip Too Hard, aka Jasmine, was on the show, but my oldest friend Sunshine 718 was on the show with me pretty much the entire show. And boy, it was a very explicit show. We got a warning about promoting promiscuous, whatever. I don't know. TikTok always got some weird ass violation. Nonetheless, though, we made it through on TikTok to completion. So, the episode is on the platforms, uncensored, ready for you to listen. I will say, hey, if you're one of those people who can't handle dirty words, then I highly suggest, you kind of take a deep breath before you listen to the show, because it is extremely explicit. In fact, I think it was one of the most explicit episodes we've had in terms of language. And the fact that TikTok, knock on wood, didn't give us a complete ban. Now, again, before, when we started on TikTok, we got quite a few bans for many reasons. And they were unintentional, but TikTok's AI or whatever, whoever is monitoring, basically said that we said some naughty words. And I'm like, that's crazy work. But TikTok lately has not been gigging us on a lot, and we have really been pushing the envelope on this show. So I try to tiptoe around my words carefully, but my guests, they just kind of go all out. It is what it is. All right. So, hey, the Roundtable, it's pretty simple. Anybody can come on the show, start a conversation about any and everything. It doesn't matter. It's literally an open mic freestyle Friday. All right. If you guys on this podcast want to talk about whatever, ask questions of me. I might not be the smartest man, but I know enough to get this far in life. Right. So how it works, and this is always the case with this show, it starts off very slow. Then I'll get a few key people on the show. They'll kick off with some shit, and then we just go at it, right? This show can sometimes go for 2 to possibly 3 hours. This show could go, all right? So, yeah, we're kicking it off with a Freestyle Friday. Anybody could come on the show, talk about whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no set topic. You could talk about the Diddy documentary. Like, for starters, this has been all up and down my newsfeed. That and the 50 versus Marlon Wayans beef. So I've heard some things about the Diddy documentary, and I've heard mixed results to it. A lot of damning detail and information was put out in the documentary, but also, there was a lot of things that we already knew about Diddy up to this point, and of course, some that just kind of caught us by surprise. So 50 Cent and Netflix came together to do this documentary. Now, of course, not everybody is on board with this, because now we got Marlon Wayans beefing with 50. Marlon Wayans. We're talking Wayans brothers. We're brothers. Like Marlon, right? Now, Marlon Wayans doesn't like the idea about this documentary. Not really because, he's defending Diddy. It's just the fact, and in a sense, he is defending Diddy. The fact that 50 is using this to kick another black man down. Now, I think that's terrible. That's crazy work. Not the fact that he's doing that. It's just, who the fuck is defending Diddy out there? Now, there are some fans that is defending this man, and Marlon is one of them. He said that he was in Diddy's parties, had a good time. He said these things, paraphrasing, but he doesn't like the idea that 50 Cent came out with this documentary. He thinks it's wrong, kicking another black man down. And then other people started saying, Netflix always show documentaries of black people doing wrong, but never right. But in reality, Diddy put himself in this situation. So who's kicking who down, right? Diddy kicked himself down. This man was one of the most powerful black men in entertainment business. When he ran Bad Boy, they could not be stopped. Bad Boy was a force to be reckoned with. These guys were big, and then Diddy let it all get to his head. Everything started coming out, and now he's in jail. So Marlon and 50 Cent are beefing now, and they've been throwing memes back to back about each other. These are two grown ass 50-something-year-old men who is beefing over another man in jail, throwing memes and everything at each other. And I'm like, do you see the fuck what's going on? But then also too, these things sometimes are planned, because Marlon is coming out with a new Scary Movie next year with his brother Sean. Yes, even Sean Wayans is coming out of the woodwork. Fine, he's one of those Wayans that don't it's not in the limelight as much, right? I think for what I've last heard, he's just a stand-up comedian going to random places and just being a comedian. But nonetheless, though, a lot of people think that Marlon's doing this as a way to get some good and bad publicity in order to promote the new Scary Movie. And then others are just like, well, Marlon must have something, to hide. Now, the one thing about the Wayans, though, the Wayans family, you don't ever see them really get in trouble. They are a comedic entertainment powerhouse of a family. They literally a comedy dynasty. It's not common. It's super uncommon for a Wayans to get in trouble. I can't remember the last time I heard anyone from the Wayans clan actually get in trouble. When the last time anybody heard of Sean, Marlon, Damon, Keenan, Kim, or any of the others? There's a big ass thing of Wayans, right? You never really hear them get in trouble. So 50 is going to dig up dirt, but he can't really dig up too much on the Wayans. The Wayans, they might have their secrets, and if so, they're really good at keeping them secrets. But I tell you one thing, you never catch them getting in trouble in Hollywood or getting caught up in scandals. You don't hear nothing come out of the Wayans. They can dig up a lot of shit on 50 Cent, though. Like Marlon, he recently posted a picture where back when 50 was like in his heyday of rapping, used to be shirtless, G-Unit piece, but he's all covered and oiled up. So he made some sort of wisecrack about that shit. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. One thing about 50, though, he is super petty. And he seemed to have dirt on everyone. I don't know who's digging around shit for him, or he's just good at investigating and digging up old shit. But 50 Cent, let me tell you something. That's one man you don't want to mess with in any roast session or anything like that. Now, the Wayans is funny, but 50 is dangerous, all right? He pulls up receipts on people. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. But no, this weekend, I want to catch that documentary. Has anybody passing by in the chat, has anyone seen the Diddy documentary on Netflix? Again, I had a whole discussion with some of my associates at work. We were talking about that shit. One of them seen it, and they were just telling me how crazy and revealing that documentary was. Like, Diddy is a fucking madman. He's a menace. A menace. Now, growing up in the 90s into 2000s, you would have never, if you went back in time and told somebody like, yo, Diddy going to prison, and it's 1997, nobody would ever believe it. That man was on the face of everything. He was in Nickelodeon. He was just everywhere. But one thing he was always into was in other people's videos. And Suge Knight said that shit best. Like, Diddy was not a rapper, and we need to understand this. He sucked, all right? He was a producer and a producer at heart. He was good at scouting talent, and he was good with making music, but he was nowhere a fucking rapper. When people be like, yo, who's a better rapper? This such and such or Diddy? Diddy should never be compared to any rapper. He's not a rapper. Yeah, he gets into certain songs and have a verse here and there. And, like he described being with a woman as like her brother, play fighting undercovers. Who the fuck say shit like that about a woman that you're with? I would never tell my wife, you're like my brother, when we play fight undercovers. I would never tell her no shit like that, because she should never remind me of my brother. And number two, I've never played fight under the covers with my brother. That's wild, weird work. Diddy, you got some crazy shit. Now, I remember I did a show way back, Tulio. Matter of fact, Tulio, what's going on, man? Good morning to you, brother. What's going on? I did a show way back and it was titled Pause. And what I was doing, I was looking up some very questionable lyrics from rappers over time within the past 20 or so years. No doubt, Biggie said some of the wildest shit. In fact, he was the inspiration for that episode, because the lyric that man said flew over everybody's head. Nobody ever questioned that shit until it became clear to this generation, the AEO Pause generation. And then we took a listen to that back in the day. We never thought anything about it. But today, that shit aged horribly. He said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, you look so good, I'll suck on your daddy's dick. Who says shit like that in a rap song? He basically said that this woman looked so good that he would suck the dick to where she came out of. Bro, that is the most disrespectful lyric I've ever heard. I had a whole debate about this shit. And it was a dude that I know, and he was on my show not too long ago. And he was like, yo, I lost all respect for Biggie when I heard this lyric. Now, he's about 15 years or so younger than me. All right. So again, a lot of this generation is catching on to this. Now, Tulio, you said you've been realized that shit flew. I'm gonna be honest. That shit flew over my head when I was younger. Now it's like, yo, that is some crazy shit. No man should say no shit like that. I don't care how good looking your woman is. That is very zesty compliment. Extremely zesty. I would never say no shit like that. I would just say that my wife has good genes. That's it. I'm not going to be like, damn, whatever dick you came out of, I'm going to praise that shit. Pause. Hey, yo. Nah, don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. But no, I'm going to... Tulia, let me ask you something since you're on the show. Have you seen the Diddy documentary on Netflix yet? I'm going to get around to it. That's going to be my tomorrow night thing. I'm going to sit there, have a nice meal, maybe a wine. I'm going to watch this shit. I want to see this. Now, let me ask you, Tulio. You said you've seen it. Did it reveal anything new that you didn't have, or did it just reveal all the shit that you already know? Either way, I'm going to watch it, right? A lot of people have said that it just revealed a lot of shit. But all these new faces and characters I heard appear in it that they've never heard of or seen before, who came out of the woodwork and probably got paid handsomely by Netflix to come out and speak their piece about their experience with the diddler. So I'm gonna watch that. I might even do an episode on it, but I gotta pay a lot of attention to it, give my critique. And you said it revealed most of what I didn't know. Even better. So I'm definitely gonna watch that shit because it's crazy. Look, don't get me wrong. P. Diddy, whatever the fuck you want to call him, Puffy. What grown man calls himself Puffy is crazy to me. The man was a musical genius. He found lots of talent. I'm telling you, Bad Boy Entertainment, I got to do a show on Bad Boy. That shit, he has made so many artists from Bad Boy, but he also fucked all of them over. G-Dep, Black Rob, Biggie, Junior Mafia, Cassie, everybody under Bad Boy got fucked over. Period. Everyone. Ain't not an artist out there from the Bad Boy era making music right now. No. It's like Jay-Z with Rockefeller, right? So, and Unalive. Yes. And Unalive. Now, when it came to Rockefeller Records, right? Rockefeller Records was also a force to be reckoned with, not to be reckoned with. And Rockefeller, the big guy was Dame Dash. And then you had Jay-Z, Memphis Bleek, Beanie Siegel. You had Mill. You had all these fucking people. And I'm telling you, when shit was like, wow, big. And then who was the last man standing out of that? Jay-Z. Yeah, sure, Dame Dash is around, right? And he's been popping up in interviews and things of that sort. Of course, he's got to keep himself out there and keep some sort of relevancy. But Jay-Z is the pioneer and the one man to get out of the rubble of Rockefeller. What's the one thing in common that Diddy and Jay-Z had? They were smart. They not only expanded out of music, they fucked everybody over. They really did. And it's crazy. Jay-Z's worth, I think I read somewhere around $2 billion. The man is paid. He's paid, but he's smart. Because back in the day, rap had a expiration date. If you were already in your mid-30s back in the 80s and 90s, rap was done. And that's when you notice artists like LL Cool J, Method Man, they all went into acting. Acting was the next thing. LL was one of the first to do it. Fat Boys was one of the first to do it. All these people were rappers, musicians, turned actors. Jay-Z just ventured into other things. Liquors, sports venues, casinos. He's got... And Nas, too. Nas just scored a mega deal, a mega multi-million deal on casinos. These guys were smart. Rappers stayed rappers, and look where they at. Some rappers became businessmen. Look where they at. So Diddy was smart. He just kind of screwed everybody over, made money off of everyone, still making money off of everyone's catalog, because I promise you, he still owns Cassie's catalog, probably, Biggie's catalog, if it doesn't belong to the estate. And all the other artists, Lil C's, all of them, everything. I'm going to watch that, and I might do an episode depending on how deep I analyze this shit, or I might just talk about it on an episode. It may not require me to do an entire episode, but I will do an episode on Bad Boy. That Bad Boy needs to be analyzed, all right? Ever since this Diddy shit, Bad Boy records need to be analyzed, and it will. I promise you an episode Bad Boy Entertainment. There will be an episode on it. I just got to, dig up my sources, artists and all that shit, because that's usually what I do for a big episode. I take a couple of days to kind of dig in, right? So, yeah, Diddy. I'm going to watch that and give you my critique on the next episode. Meanwhile, though, what else is going on? It is Friday. Tulia, what you got going on today, man? It's Friday. You're working. You're taking a weekend off. Beating cheeks. What's going on this weekend? I need some material to talk right now. Usually the roundtable always starts off slow, and then all of a sudden everybody comes out of nowhere, out of the woodwork, and that's everything. And I do appreciate you being on last night's episode with Drip and Sunshine, man. Those two are a trip. Very explicit show. Like, we almost got canceled last night. We got a warning saying that the show was too sexually explicit, even though I put a 18 and older label on it. TikTok is sitting there being flaky. All right, you say you're doing a little Uber and then school. All right. That's what's up. Rise and grind. Early bird gets the worm kind of deal. Get your money, and then you're good to go. I got that. I got no major plans, except tomorrow I'm going to have pancakes with Santa. My wife loves Santa Claus. She's a kid at heart, so they got this event going on where, you can have pancakes with Santa, which is pretty dope, I guess, right? And they play Christmas movies and all that shit. Should be a lot of fun. Other than that, I got no major plans at all. I'm just kind of in existence, getting over this slump of a week, right? It's been a mentally draining week. Even me, I got my own issues and problems, even though I come on this show and, I'm super up there. I got to have the energy for the show. I can't bring doom and gloom to the show, right? So I got to glamour up a little bit, bring that energy, like reverse the energy, bring it up. Now, Tulia said, do you dress as a black Santa? No, I've never even dressed up as Santa. The closest thing I dressed up to Santa was just a hat. And speaking of Santa, we got Santa in the house, Santa Dragon Wolf, man. What's going on? We just spoke you up. Ho, 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 my dude. Good morning to you. What's going on? Welcome to the podcast, of course. I know you're just stopping by to say hi, and I do appreciate that, man. We're just doing a roundtable today. We're just talking about any and everything that pops to mind, questions, all types of shit. Now, you said you should role play with your wife. Yeah, I do want to slide down her chimney this weekend, that's for sure. Ho, ho, ho. She sleep, too. I could sneak in some milk and cookies and shit. Emphasis on the milk. Hey, man, get your mind out of the gutter. Stop playing.
I just drew something at you.
You just threw? Oh, shit, you awake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Talking shit about me, huh?
No, not really, but I'm on the naughty list tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Get into the Christmas spirit. Take off your bra. Now, let me stop. All right. Now, my wife sleeps. Like, our couch is lethal. Like, we'll sit on that couch. I'm telling you, it's one of the most comfortable couches I've ever sat on. Like, I will sit on that couch, be wide awake. If I lay on that couch and lay on her, I'm out. I got to sit there and fight sleep on that couch. She's like damn near knocked out. She's on and off, so she hears me. Yeah. She's watching TV and the TV's watching her, so go figure. We both had a really long week, man. It's been a draining week for both of us. But you know what? We kick back, we chill out, we did some food shopping, whatever. We're just chilling. But hey, anyway, what's going on, Santa? What's going on this weekend? You got any plans this weekend?
Santa.
Oh, Santa Dragon Wolf. Not the Santa that he dresses up as Santa on his lives. He's literally Santa Claus. I kid you not. Santa, what you got going on this weekend, man? Any plans? Any lives? You're doing any lives this weekend? Hey, let me know. I'll try my best. Like, I get invited to lives. And unfortunately, I can't always be on people's lives because the good lives and everything be when I'm working and I'm always moving around and on foot. So I can't always join a live. So for those who share their lives with me, please don't take it the wrong way. All right. I might chime in and give a text or two, but at the same time, I'm in the military, man. I got to move around and shit. I'm never in one spot too long. So I'll do my best to join lives. And on the weekends, it's different. I'm more sedentary on the weekends. So yeah, you say you nap and then you're back at it. Oh yeah. Because, some people, they spend their whole day on the live, or at least get on live maybe 3-4 times a day, on and off, on and off. Me, I do one live a day, and that's not even every day. That's because of the show. And that's about it. I will share clips and things like that. I've done shows, though, that I've done 2 in one day. I have. I've done one in a day and one at night. So not something I always do. But once in the blue, I might feel frisky to do a bonus show the same day. And I'll be like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to just do another show. and that's it. But other than that, I'm not really on and off this every day in terms of doing lives. That's quite a bit of work, quite a bit. Other than that, though, what else we got going on? Come on, it's the weekend. I'm already 25 minutes into the show. I got to get at least an hour. That's always the thing. All right, Santa, you said I have many promotions coming alive, artwork, merchandise, etc. My man Santa's an entrepreneur. Hey, people, follow Santa Dragon Wolf. All right, he's a good guy. Dress up as Santa. He gets a lot of people on his lives. Definitely give him a follow. And he'll probably not put coal in your fucking stocking this Christmas. So be a good boy and girl and go follow my man Santa Dragon Wolf, man. He's a good guy. He's been on my live a few times, like actually in the box talking and stuff like that. So pretty good guy. We had some pretty good insights and conversations on here. And then I got Mahal Foley, one of my day ones. Mahal, what's going on? Good morning. Happy Friday to you. I see you down there in the chat. What is your plans this weekend? What you got going on? All right, Sandy, you said Chaotic Radio that plays our 24/7 radio station. Dragon Wolf Radio is in the bio. Yes, people, when you do follow this man, he does have a link in his bio. Click it. Got a radio station. He's probably playing like hella Christmas music, right? Probably playing Mariah, All I Want for Christmas. 24 hours. Please don't do that shit. You know, that song is not as annoying, but man, I don't know. You know what's crazy about that song, All I Want for Christmas, is that if they play it in stores so much, especially at Target, because I remember I used to work at Target. They played that song religiously. I don't get tired of that song, but then again, I'm not sitting there listening to this song every fucking hour of the day. Now, Santa, you said, nope, we haven't wrote any Christmas music yet. Hey, well, shit, hopefully you get to it. We got about a little less than 2 weeks. And then Mahal, you said Christmas stuff, going to look at lights and stuff. Have you guys ever, like, even now, go drive around your local neighborhood and look at, like, different houses and their Christmas lights? I used to do that when I was younger. We would go around the neighborhood and look at all the Christmas lights and see which house had some Christmas lights and, you know, who had the best lights. And, yeah, we used to do that. You said all original music. Oh, shit, Santa is not only Santa Claus, he's also a music producer. Well, shit, hey, make sure you share some of that when you get a chance, when you start getting your hits out there. I mean, it's on your radio station. I got to click it, see what's going on in there. I'm looking forward to it. All right, but no, where was I? I was going with this. Oh, yeah, I was talking about, you said, oh, yeah, Mahal, you was talking about Christmas stuff, going to look at lights. Okay, yep, all right. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun, you know, driving around, looking at lights and stuff. Yeah, some of these houses do get really decked out, though. I mean, there's a place or a neighborhood in Brooklyn where the residents, they got bread. They covered their entire house with decorations and lights. I'm talking like your Con Ed bill must be like $500, $800 a month. You said the neighbors now change. A lot of people don't do it. It's crazy because there's a lot of people losing that Christmas spirit, right? And Santa, I appreciate the gifts. I've been a good boy this year. Thank you so much. Much, much appreciated. But Mahal, getting back to you, you basically said that nobody's putting up decorations anymore. It's the times have changed. You know, money, people are just, they don't have the money anymore. And then not only that, me and Drip, we had a conversation about Thanksgiving decorations, because even back in the day, and we just hit our rose gold thanks to Santa, man. Just Santa alone just made it happen. Much, much appreciated, man. Thank you so, so much. I don't really set goals on here, but when I do, okay, Merry Christmas. Reset your goals. I'm going to try to do that right now. However, going back to decorations, I lost my way. Back in the day, I remember in public school, people would literally put up Christmas decorations. I kid you not. They put up, Thanksgiving decorations. You know, the turkey and the pilgrim on the window and, you know, dress their house all like Thanksgiving. Like, you don't find too many Thanksgiving decorations. So Drip was like at one point, you know, they used to dress their house up. Thanksgiving used to be the thing. And nobody really dresses their house and stuff for Thanksgiving anymore. So Christmas is kind of the same thing. But see, here where I live at, I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment complex, and there's towers, right? Everybody has decked their balconies with Christmas lights. I got to get some myself. Everyone decked their shit with Christmas lights. It's pretty cool. I love Christmas lights. I got my tree up behind. That's, you know, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. But you're right, Mahal. There's a lot of people that's just not in that spirit anymore. You know, there's a lot of financial uncertainty, a lot of financial insecurity. People are just not celebrating like they used to, or their meaning of Christmas has changed. There's a lot of shit, man. That's why I appreciate the time when I grew up. I'm a very nostalgic person, and I'm always reminiscent of the good times, the 90s. You know, the 90s was peak humanity. I am so blessed to have grown up in the 90s and be born in the 80s. I couldn't ask for a better time to be born. Well, maybe except the 1940s, but whatever, right? My other favorite decade. But other than that, though, I appreciate all the gifts, right? I just set another rose goal. You don't have to give roses, but if you do, thank you so much. I much appreciate it. Other than that, man, what else we got going on? I got to stretch the show to about an hour, right? I got Mahal Foley on the show right now. I had Tulio on here. He's busy, but he has been like popping in and out of the show. So, you know, he'll probably pop up again. Had Drip on yesterday. I spoke to her not too long before the show, so she might pop in. She might not. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to chase everybody. They know where I'm at. They know what time it is. I told them I had a show. Just pop on in, all right? So we spoke a little bit about Diddy. I'm going to actually look at the documentary this weekend, and I'm going to give my little 2 cents maybe in an episode or maybe not an episode. Don't know. All right. I'm trying to get some more people on the show, see what we're talking about, see what's going on. Come on, man. It's Friday. Give me something to talk about. Ask me a question. Usually questions are great icebreakers to start all new topics. So yeah, if you guys got a question or something you want to talk about, hell, even throwing show suggestions. I always push the audience to give me a suggestion for a show. Now, a few of you do give me some insight and some ideas, but most of you don't, but it's okay. I have a whole book of upcoming episodes, but I would love to get additional shows from you guys. Now, Mahal, you said, I love the tradition of Christmas in Manhattan is still alive. Yes, it is. Not as much as it used to be. I mean, we still got the Rockefeller tree. I don't think that's something that's going to go away anytime soon. The Rockefeller tree, here to stay. The first time I've seen that tree in person, I was like, this tree is small as fuck. When you see the Rockefeller tree on TV, it's gigantic. When you see the shit in person, it is not that big. Pause. It's really not that big. I was like, this tree, it still looks nice in person, and it's a special thing to see it in person, but don't get it twisted. It's not as big as you see it on TV, right? And I've never even been to a Rockefeller tree lighting, just like I've never been to a New Year's Eve ball drop. Like, New Yorkers don't do that shit. Tourist traps. All right, let's see how much time I got real quick on this roundtable as I am flying solo again. Well, last night's show I didn't fly completely solo. I had Drip come on here, and I had one of my good friends come on here. Mahal, you missed last night's show, man. It was a sight to behold, or a sight to hear. We spoke about bad sex. What constitutes as bad sex? As a matter of fact, I'll ask you, Mahal, what is your definition of bad sex? For example, you had a session with some lucky lady, and all of a sudden something just went wrong and just kind of ruined it for you. What constitutes to you as bad sex? Because you weren't on that show last night, so I feel like, and if you don't have to answer it, because I'm not in the business to make people feel uncomfortable. So again, you can answer it. You don't have to answer it. I kept looking for you last night. Yeah, I was on around the same time. I was on. I don't know how TikTok is not pushing out this show the way it needs to. This show is severely deserving of being pushed out. And I don't know why everybody is not getting that. But what is your definition of bad sex? That was what last night's episode is. And I got some really good feedback on bad sex. You know, we looked up what constitutes as bad sex. Yeah. And you said when the lady lies there like a dead fish, I'm dead. Where's the fun in that? Like, you got to put in the work too. Like, sex is a two-way. It's a two-man. I don't want to say two-man, but it's a two-person job, right? Don't just lay there and let me do all the work, or I sit there and let you do all the work. But yeah, when she lies there like a dead fish, it just feels, it's awkward. It's awkward in a very awkward way. Do something, lady. Don't just lay there. Do something. Make a moan, gyrate, move a hand or something. Don't just lay there. It's just kind of, you make the shit super awkward. But yeah, that's one that we didn't come across though. But we somewhere in that line, something where sex becomes performance based. Once sex becomes performance based, then it becomes like a game. It's like, oh man, I got to keep up. I got, my stamina. I got to go take the blue pill. Whatever gets you going. Or sex could be like a chore. So, Mahal, in case you missed that, I don't know if you listen to this show on like Spotify or whatever, but that entire episode is available on Spotify and other platforms. We almost got banned last night from that show. We were cutting it very close. We got a violation for explicit sexual content. Yeah, some of our language just kind of, we were out there, Mahal. We were cutting it very close with that show. So, knock on wood, TikTok is lurking. We've been very fortunate so far not to get any ban hammers. All right. And it's been a minute since we got one, and we want to keep it that way. But lately we've been pushing the envelope. So we're going to dial it down a little bit sometimes. Other than that, though, it is available on Spotify. We got about 20 minutes or so. Like I said, this show can go for 2 hours, or you could just hit the hour and just call it, man. You guys got to help me make the roundtable interesting, because the roundtable can't work unless I'm actually talking to somebody. Me doing a roundtable talking by myself is boring. Roundtable absolutely requires other social interaction. All right. So, hey, hit me with your best shot. Ask me a question. Give me something to talk about, right? I got about 37 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm 37 minutes into the show. Ask me a question of the show if you're new to this. Mahal, you said you got a violation on your Dr. Moody's puppet for saying you're the man? Get the fuck out of here. Ain't no way you got a violation for your puppet saying that. No shot. TikTok, y'all gotta calm the fuck down. Y'all just throwing violations. I have seen videos and read comments. I don't know how they pass, and I would say something similar, and I get my comment doesn't get approved. It gets removed, and then I try to appeal it, and they're like, no. But I read something way worse on that comment section, but yet my shit gets taken down. How the hell did you get a violation for your Dr. Moody puppet? That's crazy. How does a puppet get a TikTok community guidelines violation for saying you the man? Sometimes, most of the time, Mahal, it's not even a person that is throwing community guideline violations. It's mostly AI. Sometimes AI don't always get it right. Sometimes you slip past it. It's like the revolving door. The community guidelines is basically like a revolving door. You can make it without getting caught, or you probably get caught up in the community guidelines and you don't even know why. But at least TikTok is generous enough to let you know why you got it. I remember one time I got a violation and they had the playback video, like an instant replay of the exact moment that I got the community guidelines violation. TikTok, I'll at least give you that shit. At least you gave me a John Madden slow motion instant replay on how I got this violation. Because I would be sitting there scratching my head trying to figure out why did I get this community guidelines violation? Stupid shit like that. Again, we got cut off on this show. If I could count on my hand 5 or 6 times when we started on TikTok. That's when we started learning about the community guidelines and how to get around that. Tiny Warbugs, Timmy, what's going on, man? What's up? Hey, man, I've been seeing your lives and stuff. I've been passing by, man. You've been getting a lot of an audience, man. That's dope. Whatever you are doing, and you just being yourself, right? That's what I love about certain people that just come on here and be themselves. They don't have a gimmick. They don't have nothing. They're just unapologetically themselves, right? That is the best content creator, I think, is just being yourself. Not sitting here doing all this extra theatrical bullshit. I mean, I get it. You're trying to grab the attention. You're just raw, unfiltered, and yourself, man. I love that. That's how I am on this show. Now, growing up, you would have never thought I could be like this. Like, I would never thought if I went back in time 10 years ago and you told me, Tiny, that I was doing a podcast, I would never believe it. But I long came out of my shell and I was like, I found myself. This is who I am. This is no gimmick. I'm like this off the mic and I'm like this on the mic. It don't matter. All right. But that's just me. I'm just glad. I love seeing you on here, man. He's be getting like an audience. It's crazy work. But other than that, no. I'm doing a roundtable today, Tiny. This is basically every Friday we just talk about whatever, right? There's no set topic. We're just talking about whatever is on our minds, what's going on in the world. I do this every Friday, kind of like a freestyle Friday. So like shit, questions, whatever. Store it all in there. We talk about it, right? And that's it. Like I was talking about the Diddy documentary. Now, Tiny, did you see the Diddy documentary on Netflix yet? I was talking about that a little bit, and I haven't gotten around to it, but I want to watch it this weekend. I'm going to watch it this weekend because you haven't seen it yet. All right, I haven't either. All right, but I've heard that there's a lot of shit that people didn't learn from that, and it was things that people already knew about them. But, it's just, on Netflix, right? 50 is crazy, though. 50, that man, I'll tell you, no, listen, like the whole beef he got with Marlon Wayans, I'm like, Marlon, don't do it. Don't do it, man. 50's got dirt on everybody. And one thing about the Wayans that I said earlier is that they don't seem to have any dirt on them. They don't ever go to jail. They don't ever get caught up in shit. Nothing. They're like almost damn near the squeaky clean comedy clan. But 50 always finds some shit somewhere. That's what I'm saying. Everybody that has tried 50 since Ja Rule, he put them on the ground. He damn near ended Ja Rule's career. This man sat there and bought half a stadium of Ja Rule's tickets just so that nobody showed up. Who has time to be this petty? 50. Only 50 could do some shit like that. Man made a whole documentary about Diddy, and they didn't even work together. That's the crazy part. He was like, I'm just going to do this. 50 is crazy. They're crazy, but I will say they're too old to be playing around like this. Come on, man. You guys are like up there, late 40s, early 50s, and you guys are sitting here bullshitting and like sitting there like two high school kids just going at it. It's slippery work. No pun intended. Pause. But other than that, I'm going to check it out this weekend, and I'm going to check it out. And I got about 20 more minutes until I hit that 1 hour mark. Now, Mahal, you said it seems when you got money, you could get away with shit. Not always the case, man. It used to be that way. And it still is, but it depends how long your money could go for, right? Like you got to look at Jeffrey Epstein. You got to look at Harvey Weinstein. You got to look at Diddy. You got to look at all these characters that had money and they did all types of dirt behind the scenes, but had money and got caught on it. There's a lot of people with money and they select and choose the people they want to sit there and put dirt on with money. Like everybody's like, oh, well, Diddy was targeted. He's a successful black man. No, he wasn't targeted. That man did everything you fucking heard. He did it. Why do you think he's in jail? He never sat there and fought against it and was like, nah, I never did that. Oh, no, he did that. We just didn't want to believe it. Or like R. Kelly, right? Nobody would have ever thought R. Kelly would do some crazy shit like that when he came out. Because when he came out, he was a powerhouse back in the 90s. Hit after hit after hit after hit. Now, nobody in the damn 90s knew that he was married to a 16-year-old Aaliyah. Who the fuck would have known that? That came out later. And then look what happened to him. A dude with money. Some people just do it to themselves. They let the money get to them. They think they could get away with everything. They think they could buy everyone. And look what happens. The money is only going to protect you so much. Or Shannon Sharp. That's the dude that was messing around with the OF model. He had to pay like $25 million to that woman. Or $50 million, I believe. And he lost his show. He got fired from ESPN. I mean, the money is not getting you away with shit. They select the people they want to put in the dirt when it comes to but some of these guys, they do it to themselves, man. The money gives you such a power trip that you think you can do whatever you want. If you have money, humble yourself because you're going to end up like these guys in jail or unalived, whichever one you want to choose. Mahal, you said, but if that was your sister that was involved with that, would you let him get away with it? Well, who are we talking about? Are we talking about Diddy? Hell no, I wouldn't let him get away with it. Hell no, I would want justice. Even if she was a grown woman and she made the decision to get caught up in that shit, I would still want justice, knowing that if he manipulated all his other victims, he would have had manipulated my sister as well. Yeah, look what happened to Cassie. Cassie was one of his biggest artists. And they dated. And you see what he did to her? She got no justice from that shit. None. He completely violated that woman. That woman is scarred for life and got nothing out of it. She got money out of him, but not recently because she took hush money and left with it. You said, now that's a lame question. It is kind of a lame question, and I kind of get it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think anybody in that situation that has family that was in that situation would definitely want someone to pay for that. They would definitely want somebody to pay for that. I mean, it's your family. Even though they're grown and they made the decision themselves, it don't matter. The fact is that it happened, right? But I'm gonna check that documentary out. That shit is it's wild work. It's wild work. All right, man. What are we doing this weekend? What's going on this weekend? Mahal, you said you're gonna go check out Christmas lights. My wife and I is going to a Pancakes with Santa event. Tiny, what you got going on this weekend? I know you're doing lives this weekend. I know that for a fact. You've been on almost every day. That's the best way to do it. The more you're on this shit, that's it. The more you're on it, the more you get yourself out there. All right, you said I'm out, going live. All right, shout out to Tiny Warbucks. Hey, listen, follow this man. Follow this man. He is on the up and coming really, really quickly. Follow him. It's a super chill live, no drama, nothing. He'll probably kick you out. All right, but definitely give Tiny Warbucks a live. Give him a follow. Go on his live. Check him out. All right. He's about to go live right now. All right, Tiny, I see you got nothing going on this weekend. It's all good. Hey, but you got the live. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's it, man. That's the best. It's the best platform. It's just to be yourself, man. And if you're going to be a content creator, you got to just be yourself. Don't put on a gimmick. I can't. I don't know. Don't put on a fucking gimmick. All right. The gimmick thing works for some people. And I'm not knocking somebody's hustle, but that's just not me. I'm not going to sit here and create a fake persona, because basically what you see is literally what you get on and off the screen. Nothing changes. Now, this is, I will say this though. The 10, 15 years ago version of me was not like this. I was still very much introverted. I didn't even like taking pictures. I was just getting around to taking pictures. But this version of me, this was the version that should have came out 20 years ago. It took for me to get to my 40s to get like this. But hey, man, everybody's got a shell. Sometimes this shell is so thick it's hard to break out of. But yeah. And you said, are you going to do a walk around South Korea? I'm thinking about it this weekend. I didn't do it last weekend. I kind of just chilled out. But I think on Sunday, I might just do another walk around South Korea. I might do it. And that's also to be determined once done with this show right here. I'm going to chalk up my next schedule of shows coming up this way. I got so many episodes, Mahal. I got so many ideas, so many good content shows coming up. I mean, I've been so creative lately. Like the ideas and the topics have been flowing like never before. There were times that I didn't even know what the hell I was going to talk about. And half the time, if not most, it depends on what I'm hearing around me or what I'm talking about. But I got a whole book of fucking episodes, proposed ideas and things of that sort. You say you show us how South Korea does Christmas. Yes, I'm going to do a night walk because out here in South Korea, because the biggest religion here is Buddhism. I mean, not Buddhism. Christianity is the biggest religion here. And they go all out for Christmas festivals, everything of the like. So what I want to do is I want to do a night walk for sure. Oh, shit. George Carlin joined as a guest. Man, George Carlin, man. Oh, my God. I'm doing a show soon on controversial comedians. And George Carlin is definitely one of those that inspired the episode. I can't imagine if George Carlin was alive today, the shit that he would love and hate to talk about is AI, content creation. I can imagine his material today. He was such a talent that was gone way too soon. He was a political comedian, dark comedian, observational humor. The man was amazing. 7 Dirty Words, right? This man put the 7 Dirty Words in comedy. The man was a legend. That episode's going to be coming up soon as well. I'm doing a show on controversial comedians. We're talking Dave Chappelle. We're talking Lenny Bruce. Who else? We got so many controversial comedians. Who's that? What's that one dude? It's so many of them. Can you George Carlin on TikTok? Can I George Carlin on TikTok? I'm kind of trying to figure out what the question is. I'm pretty sure you're getting to it though. Imagine. Can I imagine George Carlin on TikTok? Man, shit. Oh, and Cat Williams. Yes, Cat Williams. And also, what's that one dude? Oh my God, he has initials for his first name is like JK. No, it's not JK. You guys know who I'm talking about. Bald redhead dude, whatever, right? But there's a lot of controversial comedians. that I'm going to be talking about in that episode coming soon for this season. I'm trying to fit all these episodes that I have into one season. If not, it's just going to carry over. So like the bad sex episode I did last night, that was originally planned for last season. And I just kind of held it off for a bit. I was like, I'm not ready for it yet. Because I'll sit there, look at the topics, and I'll sit there and strategize which topic I think will do good on a weekend and which topic I think I just want to do for a weekday. So I sit there and I just look at it. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, That's how I strategize my episodes. I literally have to pick and choose when to do it. But yeah, hopefully, Tulio, you'll be on there. Now, let me ask you real quick. It's a little sneak peek. Who do you think is the most controversial comedian out there, or the most controversial comedian of all time? Mahal, you can answer this as well. Who do you think is the most controversial comedian of all time? Because I know, Mahal, in your day, you had Richard Pryor, you had Lenny Bruce, you had George Carlin, you had Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby now, all right? Bill Cosby was a dirty mouth comedian. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the Cosby Show fool you. That man, if you listen to some of his records back in the day, that man was dirty as fuck. All right, Red Fox, same deal. Richard Pryor. Oh, Richard Pryor was definitely super controversial for his time. But again, like nobody would have ever thought Bill Cosby was a dirty comedian like that. But if you listen to some of his stand-up material, you're going to think. Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay to me is the most confusing motherfucker. I don't even find him to be funny. First of all, I thought he was Italian. He's really Jewish, right? He plays this persona of self, right? Andrew Dice Clay, right? I thought this man was straight Italian. I kid you not. He did get banned from MTV, a lifetime ban from MTV. The man can never go on MTV ever again. Andrew Dice fucking Clay. He can never go on there again. He showed his ass on MTV, but people loved him. But he pushed the envelope for cable television. If it was HBO, it'd be different. But nah, he kind of fucked it up for himself doing that. So, hey, I mean, Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah, there's going to be so many. That episode will be coming soon. I have it in the queue for this season. If for some reason other episodes come about and kind of overshadow it, then I'm going to just have to push it to the next season, which will probably start sometime in January, depending on how fast this season go, right? Because I do 25 shows per season. We're already at 610. So by the time 624 comes, it's already the end of the season. So these episodes, they're being produced pretty quickly. But I can't wait to do that show because I love comedy, man. I love to laugh. And I grew up with comedians like Jim Carrey, Richard Pryor. Who's the other dude? Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison was another one. And you said, did you see the Netflix show Being Eddie? No, that's another one. Listen, I pay all this money for Netflix, Mahal, and I ain't watching the shit like I need to. So I need to catch up on the Diddy one, and I need to catch up on Being Eddie. I didn't know Eddie Murphy was a ventriloquist, too. I did not know that. Where the fuck did that come from? I think with Eddie Murphy, though, Eddie Murphy is a timeless talent. But when he tried to sing, that damn near almost ruined his career. Party all the time? I like the song. It's pretty catchy. But let's be honest. Eddie, stick to comedy. Don't sing no more. Don't sing no more. He's got a voice, but man, you're so used to watching Eddie Murphy on SNL, Another 48 Hours, and shit like that, Beverly Hills Cop, and then now he's singing Party all the time. Pack it up. Just don't do that. Don't do that. But other than that, yeah, I will get around to that episode, and hopefully, Mahal, you'll be on there, because I'm pretty sure Richard Pryor will be mentioned on that show, bar none. All right? He'll definitely be. I'm trying to find out. Now, see, I'm stuck with that one comedian that I was trying to mention that's also controversial. Let me see. Controversial. Oh, no. What are you doing? Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to find out. He has like an initial for his name. I'm trying to see what it is. Controversial. Hold on, people. Controversial comedians. All right. What is this dude's name? See, when I'm stuck on a comedian's name, when I'm stuck on something, I got to find out who it is. All right. I got to find out who it is. And I'm going to find out right now. I'm literally stuck on this dude. But no, I will watch that documentary, Being Eddie, because I love Eddie Murphy. I really love Eddie Murphy. All right. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I'm stuck. I can't find this fucking comedian. CK something. I don't know. Damn it, man. I need some help on that because now I'm really stumped on it. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up, man, because he is a controversial comedian. I'm just trying to see what the fuck his name is. Louis C.K. Thank you. I knew it was C.K. something. I was like, C.K. D.K. He's another controversial comedian. Louis C.K. I told you, my mind works where if I'm stumped on something, I'm a very investigative person. I gotta go find out. It bothers me when I'm trying to remember something and I can't remember. I'm like stumped on the name. I'm trying to find out. Yes, Louis C.K. That is the guy's name. Now I know. Now we know. Probably be mentioned on there. Other than that, let's see how much time I got on this roundtable. Pretty light show. I got like 5 minutes before I hit an hour. Maybe the show might just end on an hour unless somebody comes in on the show and expand on it, or perhaps maybe somebody has something else to talk about. Somebody throw a topic in there, and the show just keeps going. All right. I think as of recent, the shortest show I had was about an hour and 1 minute. That was, I think, from like last season. I believe there was a show that was only 1 hour and 1 minute. As long as it hit an hour, it could be 1 hour and 1 second. If the show ends right there, as long as it's 1 fucking hour. But yeah, you say he's a talented dude. Yes, Eddie Murphy is extremely talented. Extremely talented. He can sing, I guess. He could act. He probably could dance. You know, have you seen the most recent Beverly Hills movie he did? Beverly Hills Axel Foley. That movie was it was surprisingly good. I think it was good enough to where it could have came out in theaters, but he played it safe and put it on Netflix, right? He had the original cast on there for the most part. He did dig up the original cast. One of them actually passed away right after, just not that long after that movie was put on Netflix. It's sad. He said we need to keep doing those 4-hour shows. Listen, 4-hour shows is crazy. In the history of this podcast, I've only done one 4-hour show. That was last season. To make a 4-hour show work, we have to have everybody on here constantly keep talking, right? Like me and you, we talking, we could probably go up to like 2 damn hours. But when we have everybody open in the panel and there's so much to talk about, that is what makes a 3 to 4 hour show. I mean, it could happen with anybody on here. It doesn't matter. As long as there's always something to talk about, I would try not to cut the show off. I would just keep it going as long as we got something to talk about. Am I crazy or am I looking at Snow Bunny Kate? Did you really change the name to Snow Bunny Kate? No way. It's a fitting name for her, though. It is a fitting name. Snow Bunny Kate. I love it. I love it. She is a treasure on this show. She's an absolute treasure. But as we count down the time, if we got nothing else to talk about on this round table, we got 2 more minutes, but we might slightly go over, right? If you guys don't have anything else to talk about, or something to ask of me, then yeah, we'll wrap it up at about an hour. Now, tomorrow on Saturday, there won't be a show, right? I got a day off, because to me now, this show is basically like a job. So I do got to have days off, and there might be a week where it just might be 1 episode. Yeah, the way the scheduling works, I have a little secret to how I schedule the show. Now, it's not much of a secret. I mentioned it on here before. I determine when a show is going to be with the flip of a coin. There it is, heads or tails. Heads a show, tails no show. That's how I determine when I'm going to do a show. So it might be a week where it'd be 1 show, or it might be a week where there's a show every single day. And believe me, I have enough material ready to do a whole show for an entire week. I have at least, if I look at my list, I have at least 2 weeks worth of, actually 3 to 4 weeks. I have over a month of material as far as episodes to talk about. Right here. I got about a month of material. So I could do a show every day of the week, but that is kind of a burnout, especially on my schedule. You said when you're coming home to the U.S., I'm planning on it sometime between January and March to go meet one of my sisters for the first time. Not the one I just discovered, but I have another sister who's much younger, and I have never met her in person. So I plan on doing that between January and March. So sooner than you think. So I'm planning on it, putting it together. It's expensive. And then I'm not taking no more trips to the U.S. until it's officially time for me to go home, because I need to explore Asia more. I definitely want to go to Japan. I don't care much for going to other countries, which I will do. But Japan, I need to go to at least 2-3 times. At least 2-3 times. But anyway, I think we just hit our 1 hour mark, folks. I will be home, though, not for Christmas, But between January and March, I'm pushing to come out so that I can go see some more family. But it's going to be like me trying to see everybody because I'm not going back to the States anytime after that until it's officially time for me to come back home. So I got to catch up with Asia. Do you tell your fellow soldiers about your show? Not necessarily. Believe it or not, I don't. I've done that, and they were like, "Oh, that's cool." Like they didn't really have much of a care. I like the idea that because I've had people come up to me like, "Yo, I've seen your TikTok." I'd rather my soldiers find me rather than me tell them, right? Because I don't want to be telling them shit that I do, and they either don't like it or whatever. Boom, boom, boom. So some of them have found me on here doing this shit. It's pretty funny. So I don't really promote it because a lot of them they got other shit to do. They may not watch me, and they see me every day. I doubt they want to see me on here as well, right? See me 12 hours a damn day. I doubt they want to see their NCO on here as well. So, and when they find me, I just like the idea when somebody comes up to me and like, "Yo, I saw your TikTok, man. The shit you were doing was pretty funny." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, all right, yeah, that's what's up. So, yeah, I don't really tell them much. I just whatever they want to do, they want to do. They want to follow. That's cool. All right, folks. So as we starting to wind down on this show, anybody got anything else to talk about? Any questions of me? Again, there won't be a show on Saturday. Okay, it's going to be a day off. Now, Sunday, I don't know. You said you got to promote your show on our side of the world. You guys, that side of the world is the majority of my audience. The problem is TikTok is not pushing the damn show out like it should. Because there's no reason why we only have 2, 3, 4 people actively watching this show. That should not be a thing. And it's not like I'm saying anything that is crazy, because depending on your content, they will restrict your live, which is what happened last night. Because our show was so sexually explicit that they suspended sharing the show out there. But I do share the clips of that show, that episode. I've already shared 2 clips from it, right? And one of the strangest things that happened on that show was when we had one of our guests show me a hole in his bed. Yes, that's right. He literally asked me, "What should I do about this hole in my bed?" And I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you even have a hole in your fucking bed to begin with? So think about that shit. You got a hole in your bed, you got bigger fucking problems than that. That's probably why I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. He's like, "What should I do about it?" I'm like, I don't know. I never had a hole in my bed before. I'm not fucking my mattress. I don't know. All right, but anyway, seems like we are just about done. I got nothing else to talk about. Let me think real quick. What else popped up in the news that's worth talking about? I don't know. There's so much other little things. You know, I haven't done my news segment in a while, news out of a hat. It used to be done on Mondays, and I scrapped it in place of, stupid questions. But once in the blue, news out of a hat, which is like my news segment where I just talk about news, would sometimes pop up as a bonus episode. So you may catch it where I look up some of the latest news, talk about the latest news, talk about articles and topics that, news stories that probably nobody heard of. All right. I just talk about those things. It's been a minute, but I bring it back eventually. But anyway, before I go, I want to just give a shout out to the following. I'm driving the train solo tonight, but I got my 2 guests up there. Tulio and Mahal, thank you guys for stopping by on the show. Mahal, you said, what about Trump unaliving those drug dealers? That's wild, wicked work, man. I don't know. I sit there and I watch this shit, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. We're doing this in international waters. There's got to be so many laws broken about this. And let's be honest, it ain't even about the drogas. It's not about that. It's never been about this. Remember back in the day, Mahal, where they had the campaign, the war on drugs? There was never really a war on drugs. Come on, man. A war on drugs, really. And we still have it coming in and out this motherfucker. We're the ones bringing it in. There was never a war on drugs. That was a cover-up for a bigger agenda. Like right now, it's about oil. Of course, Venezuela is sitting on a oil minefield, a gold mine. You know that gas station Citgo, Citgo? That's Venezuelan oil. They're sitting on it. Lots of it. This is not about the drugs. The drugs is the cover-up. Come on, man. You know how you fight drugs? You know how you fight the war on drugs? If people stop buying them. But that's it. That's the problem. They're habit forming. So people are not going to stop buying. They're going to keep buying it. And we're just going to keep letting it happen. So yeah, it gives the police something to do. It gives people something to do. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? If everybody just stopped doing illegal substances, that's one less job for the police to do. That's money that the cartels don't make. So it's not about fucking drug ships. It's stupid shit. I mean, really, one drug ship is going to stop 500,000, or however many people in the United States doing drugs. Please. But, yeah, it's about the oil, man. Let's be honest. Venezuela, oil. They're calling Venezuela the new Iraq. Potentially the new Iraqi war. To be determined. Either way, all I know is there's going to be a Call of Duty about it in the next few years. I promise you. Somebody is going to, like, Call of Duty Venezuela or some shit like that. There's going to be a conflict, a Black Ops game that deals with blowing up and seizing drug boats. Activision, I know you're writing this down. You're waiting to make a game about it. You're waiting, because Activision, that's what you do. Speaking of that real quick, for the first time, speaking of Activision, for the first time, they actually admitted defeat. They conceded their defeat. They said Black Ops 7 was the worst game, the worst Black Ops they've ever done, to where now they said that they will no longer release back-to-back Black Ops or Modern Warfare games. They lied twice, because Modern Warfare 2 came out, and guess what? 7 months later, Modern Warfare 3 came out. Black Ops 6 came out last year. Now look, Black Ops 7 came out. They lied. Lying. I think Call of Duty should come out every 2 years. It has such a fan base. I think people will appreciate it if they just every fucking 2 years. He said it started way back in the Vietnam era. CIA selling the opium. Yeah. Who do you think is bringing the shit in here? I'm not bringing it. I don't own a boat. I don't own a dock. I'm not bringing none of that shit in here. That ain't me. It's not me, but that's another topic. Another topic. All right, but anyway, Tulio, Mahal, hey, man, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Pretty quick and easy round table. Nothing crazy. Got about 2.2K of likes. I finished one of my goals for this episode. Oh, and shout out to Santa Wolf. Santa Wolf, thank you, man, for making it possible for us to pass the rose goal that was sent. Thank you. And also thank you, Mahal, for helping out, too. I did see some of your roses get thrown in there, too, believe me. I try to give credit when credit is due. I never want to leave anybody astray. But anyway, have a good night. Have a good day to Mahal. And to Tulio, man, thank you so much for making this happen. And just stay tuned for whenever the next episode may be. Because as of right now, I'm about to start the schedule. We're finishing up the show with 1 hour and 7 minutes, which I think is good. I'll take that, right? Sometimes a short show is not a bad thing sometimes, all right? Lately, we've been averaging 1.5 hour to 2 hour shows on average. All right, so 1 hour, I'm cool with it, fellas. I'm cool with it, and I do appreciate it. So have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. Enjoy your Friday. Of course, Tulio, anytime, you're more than welcome anytime to join the show, man. Absolutely. And we will do this again next time. Peace out, everybody. Have a good weekend. Ciao. Trying to escape out of here, man. They made this shit so hard to kind of get out. There we go.